DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is officially live. Now you can legally bet on all your favorite sports anytime and anywhere, right here in Ohio with DraftKings. For a limited time, new customers who sign up with code DEFEND and bet $5 or more will receive $200 in bonus bets instantly. DraftKings has the best features, including same-game parlays, player props, and more, with fast and easy payouts right at your fingertips. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers can use promo code DEFEND to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on anything. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code DEFEND. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over and physically present in Ohio. Valid one offer per first-time depositors who have not already redeemed $200 in free bets via pre-launch offer. Minimum $5 deposit and wager. $200 issued as bonus bets. Eligibility restrictions apply. See dkng.co/OH for terms.
With the Kroger Plus card, it's easy to get lower than low prices for the win. Earn fuel points on every purchase and save up to $1 a gallon at the pump. The Kroger Plus card, all you do is win. Big, big savings. Sign up now at Kroger.com and start saving. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply.
Save more on natural and organic items. Just clip your digital coupons on our app and use them up to 5 times in one transaction with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
There'd be a lot of poop in my pants. I've seen a 6-foot alligator go swinging through the air and slam into a tree.
These guys are the scientists of the supernatural, lecturers leaving lessons for inquiring laymen. They are applying the scientific method to a world that baffles science. They are the cryptids of the corn.
But who else has big black wings and red eyes?
Batman.
Oh, Mothman.
Oh, yeah, Mothman.
A great white shark was stolen.
Oh, someone stole a shark?
I got stuff for you you don't even know about.
She's a witch. She turned me into a newt.
Who knows? Anything could be possible. Anything could be possible.
It's really big abduction vibes.
Holy moly.
It sounds like you were abducted.
And it just stood up. I mean, it just like kept going and going. And she goes, what the?
Hello, and welcome back to the Corn Podcast. I am the great and powerful Mr. E.
And I am Season 3, Jay.
Woo! Season 3, baby!
Did you guys notice anything different?
I'm sure they didn't.
No, probably not at all.
I kind of forgot that is the first debut of our new intro. Woo!
I love it.
Oh, yeah, it's great. It really is. I think my favorite part, it's hard to pick one really, really favorite part, but I think our complete reaction with someone stole a great white shark. Someone stole a shark?
Yeah, I was really surprised, actually.
Mm-hmm. Like, that was odd. Like, that really happened in I believe that was a Patreon episode, so who knows?
Who knows anymore?
I can't remember. We've done 116 episodes on the main page, and we've done 40, 50? Patreon?
That many already?
We've been doing Patreon almost a year now.
Dang. Time flies.
So
when
probably
you're having
40.
fun.
There's probably 40. We've been doing one a week for a long time.
Well, if that ain't incentive to get you over to our Patreon.
There's half of the main show.
There's a lot of catalog built up.
And the Patreon stuff, we have a lot more. Anyway, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
But new intro. Pear, our graphic designer, did it for us. Now he's our audio designer also.
Yeah, thank you, Pear. Wonderful man, does wonderful work.
We love Pear.
Pear, good guy, Pear.
Yeah, he lives, above the Arctic Circle, so he doesn't got much time to do anything else. So
Our best friend from Sweden.
Our best friend from Sweden. Another new stuff you've probably noticed. You've noticed at the end of Season 2, but we already pre-recorded most of the end of Season 2, so we didn't get a chance to actually talk about it. But there's now ads on the show. And I just kind of wanted to explain how this works. We don't pick the ads. We don't have any deals with the ad company. We have a deal with a company that deals with the ads. So unless you hear us talking about it, we don't actually endorse any of the products or whatever, Yeah,
so you can skip through them if you want. Just push the forward button a little bit. And
that's always good.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
But yeah, so you'll notice that we're getting better on ad placement. We're going to start putting that like spots for them.
Yes.
But right now they're kind of random.
It's new. We're professional podcasters.
But we're always learning.
Yes, there's always room for improvement.
But I just wanted to say that about the ads. We may or may not actually sponsor or suggest the product or, whatever. I don't know what's on there. I've heard everything from, I think I heard a HelloFresh ad on there, a McDonald's ad, Menards ad.
Yeah, we definitely don't endorse all of them.
Yeah, so just so you guys know.
But if someone...
We're not picking those things.
Yeah, if someone can suggest to us, maybe a sponsor, maybe we could reach out to or could reach out to us.
Yeah, so we moved on to Red Circle. There's actually a tag if you want to sponsor the show, as in like a sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
You can click on that, like the link for that now.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually,
So if anyone has a product, I would rather sponsor something that I actually like or use.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be much more enjoyable for me.
I like HelloFresh. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. HelloFresh.
I never used it.
Me and Emily used to do it. I don't know why we kind of stopped, but we loved them. It's the first time I've ever had quinoa.
Ooh.
I actually liked it.
Ooh, okay.
So that's kind of weird.
And I actually liked it.
I've had it since. I've never liked it since. But it's always been overcooked, and I'm a big texture eater.
Yeah.
And when it's in a restaurant, most of the time it's sitting in a bin, like in a big batch.
Yep, and then just dish it out.
So it gets overcooked. Not that there's anything wrong with that. That's fine. That's how I serve food here at the house. But
it's not HelloFresh.
It's not HelloFresh. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Kiss, kiss.
Kiss, kiss. I have to make an apology officially.
Okay.
Bob, our Patreon member, pointed out that over the last 2 seasons, I have picked on the 1950s and the 1960s.
Now, is this you personally or me too?
I think it's just me.
Okay.
He had the vendetta with me.
I never had no grudge against him.
Where I guess I kind of paint the image that they were all knuckle draggers. And I want to say this, that no, most of like our big UFO stuff, our big UFO research, and our big pyramid research before the pyramids got closed off was in the 50s and the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So I do not think they were knuckle draggers. I think my opinion or my bias comes out through the old job I used to do, and with fish surveys specifically, they are still doing dynamite surveys in the 60s. So they were knuckle draggers.
Yeah, that's a little old school.
They would literally have to find, like, they did it in the Blanchard River here in Ohio, a dynamite survey in like 61, and they found in a mile of river there was only one bullhead. That's not accurate. They just the biggest chunk of fish they could ID.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So they're blowing them all up.
Yeah, they used a little too much dynamite on that one.
Yeah, I would imagine.
But yeah, so that's that stuff. New Patreon members, so we haven't recorded, episodes have been published, but we haven't recorded in a couple weeks. So we have a few to add. Brandon Simmons. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to let Jay read the rest because I can't read.
Deferring to me.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Carrad Goodyear.
Carrad?
Carrad, yeah, that's how I always say it. Oh, Jim Whitley. We know Jim.
Yeah.
Dawn Brzee. I hope I'm saying their last name. Breeze.
Yeah, she does our cups and everything like that.
Yes.
Some of our Patreon members have gotten Cryptids of the Corn cups. That's who makes our cups.
I never know how to say their last name. Ash Humrick. Hope I said Humrick. Ash Humrick. Yeah, I hope I got caught up on that last name. Thank you, Ash. And Cliff Anderson.
Yeah, thank you. I've talked to, I think, most of these people. I can't think of any of them I haven't talked to. But yeah, thank you guys for your patronage. Patreon's awesome. We do extra episodes. We also do like trivia night. We do movie nights. Then the higher tiers have extra goodies you get with them, like every 6 or 8 months or so. So just get on there. We're always doing something. We give away, like the last trivia night we did, I believe Mariah won first place, Ralph won second, and Bob won third.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So there's your public announcements for the Patreon stuff. So I'll shut up about it.
Yeah, so join in, have fun. If you want to support us, that's the way to do it.
Here's our conference list for the first half of 2023. I know that we have a lot of front of house stuff, but it's the beginning of season 3. So I got a lot of stuff we got to get through.
Knock it out real fast.
But conference list. Frogman Festival, March 4th, here in Ohio.
We'll be there.
And it's at the Great Wolf Lodge.
In Loveland, Ohio?
It's just north of Loveland, but basically. Between Dayton and Cincinnati.
Gotcha.
Great Wolf Lodge is where that's at. Encounter Quest, Hamlet, North Carolina, April 1st. We are speakers at this event.
So this is our first speaking event.
Or no.
It isn't?
No.
Like in a conference?
You remember I did the fish thing?
That was for personal people.
But anyways, yeah, our first actual big speaking event.
Yes, for everybody.
Yep. CounterQuest, April 1st. We're going to talk about that here in a minute more specifically because we have a bigger part in that event than normal. Salt Fork, Ohio Bigfoot Conference is May 5th. That weekend, it's all weekend pretty much for us. We're going in Thursday and we're leaving Sunday. Patreon members, if any of our Patreon members are coming Thursday night, I need to know because we're going to organize a hike and everything, a Bigfoot hike and all this stuff. But that's a ball. Ohio Bigfoot's a ball, Encounter Quest's a ball, Frogman's a ball, but they're all great. And then June 3rd, Small Town Monsters. So this one, if you're just wanting to meet the great and powerful mystery, this is probably one that you shouldn't go to. Other than that, this is going to be a great, fun event.
Yes.
Emily, my wife, is due around that time. So me and Jay have made the decision together. I just made it. I just pretend like Jay has choices. No, we made the decision, though, that he's going to go to the event still. And he's going to go with a couple of our good friends, Rachel and Sean, and they're going to run the booth for us.
Yeah.
All right, with Jay.
Yes. It's going to be a great time.
It's still going to be a ball. We're kind of working out some behind-the-scenes stuff that I can be there, quote-unquote.
Yes.
At least in spirit, maybe.
Well, I'm building an AI robot and developing it in my garage, and I'm incorporating it with Justin's consciousness, so we're going to figure out how to bring that. Maybe it'll be up and running by then. We'll see.
Yeah, you building an AI robot.
Yep. It'll either work great or it'll kill everybody. So
you are the last person that will ever build an AI robot.
I got.
You would just.
I would choke it to death.
Yeah. Side note: we got to talk about that evil microwave.
Evil microwave.
That's a whole different podcast, and that's a whole different thing.
Okay.
But write down evil microwave because that's great.
It's going in the notes.
Yeah. And so they're all gonna be great. Anybody, I'll try to. I think all these are on the website so far. So if you go to the website, cryptidsofthecorn.com, you can go to shows and events, and it'll have links to where if you want to get a hotel for any of these or whatever, or get tickets for these events, they're all on the website. At least for the first half of the year. We're still hammering the second half of the year, just because some stuff is still being finalized with our events we will be attending, but we don't have dates and stuff yet. So I want to talk about Encounter Quest a little more. We are speaking there, but a really cool thing is happening. Jess is the co-runner of it from Broken Branch Design, but they've decided that for our speaking ship, our proponent for our presentation is going to be an online poll, and the poll will be in the link below. You go to it'll say Encounter Quest poll link below, and you click on that link. And you can vote for one of 5 cryptids.
Basically what you want us to talk about during the presentation.
Arkansas Giant Killer Centipede, Trans Alps Giant Salamander, Leelanau Lake Monster, Florida Pig People, and who am I forgetting?
Mothman.
Oh, Untold Stories of Mothman.
Correct.
Those are your 5 options.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, by this time, I don't know when this episode comes out what's winning. But before that, as we're recording this episode right now, Arkansas Giant Killer Centipede's winning.
Which I hope you guys vote for.
I love them all.
Yeah.
But out of that list, Leelanau holds a special place in my heart.
That's true.
So does the Trans Alps Giant Salamander.
Yeah, we like them all.
Yeah, Florida Pig People is Jess Broken Branch Design. That's one of her favorites. The Untold Stories of Mothman, we love Sharon. Because there's so many stories of Mothman that don't fit the movie narrative.
Right, yeah.
The cinematic nature of Mothman in the modern day.
Which is the majority of, kind of what people think of in their heads of the Mothman.
Yeah, but there's tons of, really cool encounters with Mothman we can really get into. And then, what was the last one? I forgot. I keep forgetting.
You named them all.
No, I'm missing one.
Mothman?
Oh, Arkansas Giant Killer Centipede.
Oh, yeah.
I just didn't go over that. That's a giant killer centipede seen in Arkansas. When I say giant, I mean
Giant.
Arthropleura-sized.
Big boy.
Huge. But yeah, so please go below, vote. Even if you're not going to the event, please go vote.
Yes, please vote.
I would like to see
vote.
I mean, I don't care if you're in Australia, if you're in England.
Our democracy depends on it.
Yeah. But I want to see this poll hit like 50,000 votes.
That'd be neat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, share the vote.
Share it. I don't care.
After you vote,
Share
copy
the
that link, share it on Facebook, spread it around.
Oh, this is great. I hope you guys are still enjoying the show after all this time. We've produced so many hours of content. I hope you like it. But speaking of which, we have already started setting up more cross-promotion for the show. So this year, we're really focusing on growth for the show. One of the best ways podcasts grow is doing cross-promotion kind of stuff with other podcasts. Mm-hmm. Right now, behind the scenes, we're already working with a couple Australian podcasts. We have a pretty decent-sized following in Australia, so we're trying to grow that specifically. But we don't want to forget the other countries. We're in like 65 countries or something, like 67 countries.
Romania.
Yeah, we just seen that pop up. That was on the website. They were on the website from Romania.
Yeah.
But if you have a podcast in your home country or even in the U.S. that you would think the Cryptids of the Corn would do a really good cross show with, please let us know. Email, Instagram, Facebook, any of that stuff, please send us that show.
And we'll reach out to them.
Yeah, and if you run a show, let us know.
Yeah.
We're pretty easy to get along with. I always say I'd like to listen to 2 or 3 episodes before I agree to anything, and that's just to make sure there's no unsavory bits. That's like, I don't care if you're swearing or nothing. That's not what I'm talking about. Everybody at home can kind of get what I'm talking about.
Just make sure we mesh.
Yeah. But yeah, so please reach out to us. We'd love, it's how we both grow. Mm-hmm. And that's the other thing. You get to come on our show and, grow your own show.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Cryptids of the Corn LLC is actually expanding into a network. So roughly this week on Cryptids of the Corn, you should see on the Cryptids of the Corn network, you should see a couple new shows pop up. Some are done by our friends that we're hosting for them. Some are done by us. Mm-hmm. So those are things to keep watching out for. If they are fully published by the time this episode comes out, the link will be in the description below.
Correct.
I can spoil the name of one of them right here, right now.
Ooh, do it.
Freaky Fauna Fridays.
FFF.
Yes. So that episode is all about, it's mostly under 20 minutes, between 10 and 20 minutes. It's highlighting one species of freaky animal on the planet. Every Friday it comes out. It's great. It's just fun. It's easy going.
It's a quick dose of science about a fun animal that...
Yep. It's just taking a little snippet from this part of the show you guys love so much and putting it out there.
And highlighting it, yes.
Yep. Live shows. So we have the live show April 22nd, Poasttown Elementary. That is in Middletown, Ohio, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Tickets are in the link below. You just go to live show tickets.
Mm-hmm. Who's hosting that with us?
Hillbilly Horror Stories.
Yeah.
And Gwendolynn. Gwendolyn's going to be our MC.
Oh, Gwendolynn Guthrie, our MC. That's going to be awesome.
She's so much fun.
Yeah.
You guys have seen her on TV and stuff like that. Hillbilly Horror Stories is a great, giant podcast, too. We love them all. So it's going to be just a fun night. And if you guys come, we'll be drinking at the bar after.
Oh, yeah.
So come on out.
It'll be great.
I think that's it for that part of it. Now, for our new reviews, we have one 5-star review. So remember, if you want to hear your 5-star review read on the show, make sure it's 5 stars. 5 stars are nothing, but we read any appropriate 5-star review. And they're still taking me on that word that I'll read it because I don't know what this title is, and it comes up a couple times in the thing, so I hope it's nothing inappropriate.
Yeah, hopefully. They might be setting you up.
Kilt wheels.
Kilt wheel.
It's word kilt, we-alls.
Kilt wheels.
Kilt wheels. And then it says, one of the best cryptid podcasts. They have a serious credibility because one of their hosts is an actual biologist. Talking about you, Jay.
Yeah.
Real examples that are real explanations that make scientific sense. So grab your kilteralls and enjoy the ride. You should look into the St. Clair County, Michigan Bigfoot sighting that damaged a local barn. Detroit News did an article on it. And that's by R.K. Oakley. R.K. Oakley, we will be looking into that.
Absolutely.
I actually looked into it a little bit, and I think we could do almost a full episode on it.
Nice.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, we like your guys' suggestions, too. Let us know what you want to hear about. We'll talk about it.
Yep. So... Okay.
Trafalgar's Big Tour Sale has arrived. Book your next vacation with 15% off top-selling tours. Discover the world's top trending destinations like Spain, Egypt, Japan, and Italy, while enjoying big experiences, big memories, and big icons along the way. To unlock savings, contact your travel advisor today. Call Trafalgar at 866-513-1995 or visit trafalgar.com/Big Tour Sale. That's TRAFALGAR.com/Big Tour Sale.
So this episode topic has been asked for probably 85 billion times.
Yeah.
Us.
Since we started.
Like at least I think like week 8 of running the podcast, somebody sent this to us. This is a big hitter. This is a really, really weird, convoluted story that I believe 100% happens. But we're going to have our friends actually introduce what cryptid we're going to talk about tonight. Are you ready, Jay?
I was born ready.
Introduce our quick guest.
You want me to? Oh, this is from, and all rights reserved to, Phineas and Ferb.
All right, here we go.
We're searching for a beast of yore with a long neck and a tail. Everywhere we look, we lose on this long and dusty trail. We're westward ho, cause the ranchers know something isn't right. Their goats are being snatched away in the darkness of the night. Chupacabra, chupacabra,
just jump the wire.
Chupacabra, chupacabra,
Starting to perspire.
chupacabra, chupacabra.
I'm not usually a crier, but isn't that bigger than fire?
Posses and gangs have tried to hunt and flush it from its lair, but not till now have a gang of kids pursued it from the air. Cowboys tried to trap and trick it with just about everything, but no one's ever tried to lure it with a bully on a string. Bully on a string.
The Chupacabra.
Specifically, the Puerto Rican Chupacabra.
Which is the original guy, right?
Yes, and I'm just going to put this at the top. This storyline is crazy.
Does it jump a lot of timelines?
Yes. We're going to jump all over history.
Okay.
The main year we're going to be talking about, we'll get into that in a minute, but it's 1995, the year I was born. But we're going to go back to like 59, 88. It's like, this is a weird story.
Okay.
With a lot of angles. And Nick Redfern, we've used his articles before. He's a great paranormal cryptid investigator. Mm-hmm. One of the big guys in the field still to this day. You're going to hear his name about 150 times. But everybody that has an angle wants the Chupacabra to fit their angle.
Okay.
Specifically the Puerto Rican Chupacabra. And I want to say this right now. The U.S. Chupacabra, the continental U.S. Chupacabra, and the Puerto Rican Chupacabra are not the same thing.
Okay.
It is the same name, but completely different cryptids.
Yes, I was going to say.
One is a purple dog.
Which is the continental?
Yes.
Okay.
And one is a reptile-like creature, goblin, with sharp quills, feathers, green skin. Yeah. So a basic, real quick description of the Puerto Rican Chupacabra is, 3 to 4 foot tall when it stands up on its hind legs, but most of the time it's walking. A lot of people report that it's either smooth or scaly skin, green or gray, big black eyes that glow red in the dark.
Okay, not good.
And it has a run of quills or feathers down its back that go into a slit on its back, and it can actually stand them up. Now, that may sound weird, but there's plenty of animals on this planet that do that.
Yep.
Actually, tuna, I know that's a fish, but tuna can tuck their hard spines of their dorsal fin completely into their body.
Did not know that.
It slits up. Like, you can't see it from the outside.
Why would they do that?
For aerodynamics.
Okay.
Basically, they are such, anyways, for tuna, they are such open water fish that they go such long distances without food. They have to be able to get every little benefit they can.
Right.
So that's one benefit, is reducing drag.
Interesting. Did not know that.
So yeah, I'm just saying, animals tucking stuff in and opening it up is not an unknown thing.
Okay.
But Puerto Rico is a very, very friendly people. You're going to hear a lot.
Great food.
Yeah. Everything about Puerto Rico is fun.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go into the jungle, you will die. We're going to talk about the El Yunque National Forest. It is the only, well, we'll hear this again in about an hour. It is the only U.S. national forest that is a tropical rainforest.
Oh, okay. Fun
Puerto
fact.
Rico is ran by the U.S.
It's
governed, whatever you want to call it.
It's a U.S. territory.
Yeah, it's a U.S. territory where they have their own independence, but the U.S. does stipulate stuff they can do.
Right. I mean, it's technically owned by the
It's
US.
a state. It's basically a state.
Yes.
Everybody at home, that's the easiest way I could describe it from looking into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a state without a star on the flag.
Yeah, they just don't want to add. They don't want to add to that.
And I never
50.
get it why.
Because
it's a great country.
Because 50 is such an even number.
But it'd be a great state.
Yeah, but then you'd have to redesign. You had to add another star to the flag. It just complicates things. So it's just.
It can just share the star with North Dakota.
It wouldn't. They won't allow it.
North Dakota wouldn't mind.
I'm pretty sure they wouldn't. They seem like a nice.
We have a couple listeners from North Dakota. I'm sure you guys wouldn't mind.
Yeah, you'll take Puerto Rico.
Yeah, we're the Puerto Rican sister state.
Wait till they eat their food, then they'll accept it.
I don't know. It's hard to get any more Midwest than North Dakota.
Yeah, it's true.
The Midwest people are kind of avert to spice.
It's just good stuff. It's good stuff. So am I.
But Puerto Rico is known for the land of dogs also.
Ooh, okay.
There are literally thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of wild dogs.
Just roaming around.
Yeah, and that's important for the story later on.
Okay.
But, like, everybody knows, like, the beach dogs. They literally call them beach dogs.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also jungle dogs and stuff like that. So the jungle dogs are known for being very, very aggressive. The beach dogs are known for being very, very, very friendly. But, like, literally, you can tell. Like, I was watching videos of people that live in Puerto Rico that were explaining, like, oh, don't pet that dog. But you can pet that dog.
Yeah.
Like, just their whole demeanor and stuff like that.
It's a beach dog. That's a jungle dog.
Yeah.
It's like people. You know, guys that people that live out on the beach. Pretty chill. The ones that live in the jungle, you don't want to run into.
But the name of Chupacabra showed up in 1995, like I said earlier. But vampire-like things have been happening in Puerto Rico for a long time.
Okay, yeah.
The most of this episode, I have a lot of the cases, but most of this episode is going to be explanations.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of them.
Oh, a lot of explanations or a lot of stories?
A lot of explanations. A lot of stories, too, but... So let's get the first one. Well, the first kind of grouping I have. Mm-hmm. So the Chupacabra was first reported in Puerto Rico in the months of March 1995. An attack occurred where 8 individual sheep were discovered dead. Each of these animals had a total of 3 unique puncture wounds in the area around their chest. Most iconic characteristic was a puncture wound in the area. Oh, sorry, I'm already messed up my reading. Was a puncture wound around the area of the chest. So yeah, that's what it's saying. The most
common.
Yeah, is this big puncture. Each of the animals a total. Man, I'm rereading the same sentence 8 times. Oh, because I'm not. It's copied in the paragraph twice.
There you go.
I'm not having a stroke.
I thought you were for a second.
I'm looking. I went down sentences and I'm looking down. I'm like, it's the same thing. I rewrote the same sentence twice.
There we go.
Okay, so apparently it appears if they were completely drained of blood, which we're going to talk about later. None of these animals were completely drained of blood.
What, like partially or what?
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
There's no such thing as completely drained of blood in the Puerto Rico Chupacabra cases.
Okay.
So yeah, though there were only small traces of blood amounts left in the animals, is what they said after the necropsies. 5 months later, there was another event, at this time with more bloodshed. And then in August of 1995, as many as 150 farm animals and pets were killed by a mysterious predator prowling Puerto Rico town of Canaveres. Just like the sheep incident in March, the animals were said to have been drained completely of blood with small puncture wounds around the chest or the neck.
Okay.
And it heavily depends on the animal. We're going to talk about a lot of chickens and stuff like that, but they get bit on the neck. Birds almost always get bit in the neck. Almost the mammals always get bit on the chest, trying to get at the heart.
Okay.
And that could be to kill quick or whatever. It don't matter.
It was strategic, whatever it was.
Yeah.
It was doing it to kill.
Yeah, so first one we're going to talk about is Madeline Tortino. She witnessed a creature that was roughly around 3 feet tall, hopped on its back legs like a kangaroo, large black eyes, long thin fingers, long thin arms, and a line of feathers running down its back. But another witness to the same creature said that the feathers were actually sharp quills. So she just kind of seen this thing. So she was walking around, and it kind of pops up on its hind legs after she sees it. It's walking on all fours normally, though.
Yeah.
And it pops up on its hind legs. This big, almost frogman, reptilian-ish head and face. You ever seen the Sleestaks from the new Land of the Lost?
I don't think so.
Big black eyes, reptile heads. That's what this thing sounds like to me.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah, Sleestaks.
Aren't they like living in the caves or underground or something? Yeah.
So those are Sleestaks.
Okay.
That's what it seems like. It really seems like a whole time in my head. The mini image is a little Sleestak, like a baby.
Soft disclosure.
I mean, maybe. A lot of frogs have big black eyes.
Right,
But so it goes on her, and then she says the feathers rose up as a defensive posture. So think of like the hairs on the back of a dog's neck, making themselves look bigger. Birds do that too. They puff out their feathers to see like, hey, and then it took off.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it was scared of her, and that's going to be a really common thread.
Okay.
That they don't really mess with people, but they'll mess up your chickens.
Yeah, it knows it can handle them. It's bigger than chicken.
So a farmer named Jorge is going to be our next guy. So Madeline was the one in August. Jorge was like a couple weeks after.
Okay.
He raised roosters for cockfighting, and that's legal in Puerto Rico. And this industry in Puerto Rico actually does over $100 million a year.
Oh my gosh.
And Puerto Rico is a really weird country because it's a land of really, really poor and really, really rich.
Yes, there's no in between.
There's no middle class. But yeah, so cockfighting is one thing a really poor person could do and gain some money relatively quickly.
Dang, it's so brutal.
Oh yeah, I never.
It's illegal here for a reason.
Yeah, because it's just horrid for the animals. But
yeah,
we had it happen on the farm on accident. And we'd have roosters that lived with each other for years,
and then all of a sudden they snap.
And it's most of the time it's like it's just weird. It's just weird when they do it. If like a new hen gets introduced or something like that, it's just
they're fighting over it. Yeah.
But yeah, so he raised roosters for cockfighting. So I'm just going to tell you how this story went. He's sleeping one night, and he hears all of his roosters in his barn going nuts, and he goes back to bed. The reason he goes back to bed is chickens freak out at whatever.
Yeah.
Like it don't take much. I literally, when we had all kinds of chickens, we had them go nuts after one of them seen their own shadow, and they wouldn't shut up for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So this guy has hundreds and hundreds of chickens. So he's had this happen before and not had any problems after. So that's one thing I've seen people talking about, like, if these were his prized animals and everything, why didn't he go out and investigate and stuff? They're chickens.
Yeah.
Literally, they freak out at everything.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it. To a non-chicken person, like if it's horses or something like that, I get that. You go out and investigate your horse freaking out, whatever. These are chickens. Literally, if one of the chickens moved at night, the other chicken would go,
a little different.
Yeah. So he woke up the next morning to go check on his birds. They were all dead. 2 puncture wounds, and these birds are kept in individual little cages.
All of them?
Almost every bird on his property was dead.
Dang, okay.
And he said it was completely drained of blood. But they had these 2 puncture wounds around the neck. The animals were not tore apart, and that's going to come into later when we start talking about wild dogs.
Okay.
But wild dogs, pretty much whenever they kill something, it's in ribbons.
And shred it. Yeah, they'll shake it, and feathers will be everywhere.
And then the other predators take it with them.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like, the meat was all left in these cases. But the animals were all dead. And the weirdest thing for him was there was only one hole to get into the barn through a fence. But the rest of them almost looked like you had to open to get into the cages. There was no sign of the cages being broken besides a couple of them.
Yeah.
But like 80% of the cages were opened.
By hand.
And that could, yeah. Or, I could think of a dog, like, I think it was just a simple latch.
Yeah.
So it could be a dog or a raccoon could figure it out or whatever. But there was one cage that got relatively nasty from him trying to break into it, the creature trying to break into it. And it did break into it. And there was actually feathers in that bird, like feathers everywhere.
So there was a struggle.
Yeah, probably because it was sitting there shaking the front of the cage.
Yeah, and that bird is freaking out.
Yeah, the other birds were probably asleep when they got in there. But they did get saliva on those feathers, and they sent them off to DNA analysis, and it waited too long. It sat in customs somewhere, and by the time it got to the U.S., it was like so degraded.
There was nothing there.
There's nothing. I mean,
Dang it.
What are you going to do?
I don't know. I was hoping there'd be like...
They also found tufts of fur from the creature get caught in the fence.
Okay.
Long, coarse fur. And he gave those to a cop to get them analyzed, and the cop disappeared.
Interesting.
And then he went down to the local police department, and that cop didn't work for them.
Oh, okay. That's even more interesting.
Yeah.
Was the cop even a... It could have been a shill... Not a shill cop, an undercover government agent.
The Men in Black do get involved with this story.
Okay.
With El Yunque National Rainforest.
Okay.
But so... okay.
No, I mean, I wasn't ready to hear that.
Yeah, so, he just completely dead. This guy was distraught. I mean, it pretty much ruined his business.
Well, yeah, you would you think?
Yeah, another couple weeks later, this comes from Nick Redfern's interview with this gentleman, a very, very wealthy farmer of the area. He raised peacocks.
Okay.
All kinds of these gorgeous ivory peacocks and stuff like that. Most of these birds were, in the U.S., a couple grand each, if not more. He came in one day and 4 of his prized peacocks were dead.
Oh, okay.
Holes on the neck, but something different this time also. They had the back of their skull bitten off. All 4 birds.
Were their brains still inside?
It doesn't say.
Okay.
This is an interview that happened in 1997.
Okay.
Nick Redfern was a much younger man then. We should get him on the show.
That'd be sweet.
I'd love to talk to him.
Yeah.
He's researched about everything there is to research.
Sounds like our kind of guy.
Yeah. But so he's talking to this rich farmer. So the rich farmer gets a gun, and he's going to wait in the barn with the lights off for whatever creature has killed his prized peacocks, because he's still got more peacocks.
Mm-hmm. So it's going to be back, probably.
Yeah. He didn't patch up the hole in the fence that got into the barn, just like the chicken farmer. It made one hole to get into the barn, and then worked kind of quietly and smartly.
Okay.
So he's sitting there, and it comes this 4-foot-long black shadow starts pushing its way through the hole. And he's got the gun ready, and then it gets in and it looks at him, and it has glowing red eyes.
Okay.
And he turns on the flashlight, and this creature stands up. Green skin, big quills, this giant flat face. So now the eyes are black. Once he turns on the light, the eyes go black.
So from red to black.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're black glowing in the dark, but then it goes to red. Red glow in the dark, and then it goes to black.
Yes, it's your dyslexia.
Yeah, it is. And it looks at him and goes, and sticks its tongue out, freaks him out. He doesn't shoot because he's pretty much awestruck.
Yeah.
And then it gets back down on all fours, goes back out the hole and takes off. Leaves him alone.
Dang, I wish he could have got a shot off.
But that's kind of a common theme, is this thing don't want to mess with people.
Yeah, I don't like it. I'm having thoughts already.
So
I know what this is.
Do you?
Probably.
Write it down. Let's see. You got the Loch Ness Monster one right. No, so 2004 Illusion Park is kind of the last or most recent famous Puerto Rican Chupacabra attack. And this is the one where a petting zoo had kind of not got broken into. Basically a whole bunch of dead goats. I think 13 animals in total. 2 of the animals were gutted, and one of the animals was completely eviscerated, almost cut in half.
Shredded.
Yeah, just shredded.
Okay.
But they all had puncture wounds on their neck. It was 2004.
So something, whatever it is biting on the necks and killing these things.
But there was no sign of break-in, and the petting zoo had very tall walls, so it was inside of an actual zoo.
Okay.
So they think it may have been people, but they found no foot tracks of any animal or person and no signs of break-in. It's a very weird case.
Oh, okay.
What, do you think it can fly or something?
Yeah, that's what I was guessing right now. Like a bird come in and its talons are the puncture wounds on its neck. Like it came in and just slammed this thing in the neck with big old talons. Is that on your list?
No.
Is it plausible?
Yeah, anything's possible.
Anything's possible. I mean, is that something that could create those puncture wounds?
So, yeah, sure.
Birds do that?
Yeah. Let me finish with the 1995 stuff. So the 1995 stuff was crazy. All kinds of stuff. And this is kind of the misnomer, is the Puerto Rican Chupacabra started in 95.
Yeah, that's really recent.
The word Chupacabra started in 95, but by 98, it was on backpacks. It was in movies. It was in TV shows.
Ooh,
it took on, the image of the Chupacabra took on a life of its own.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, but that year it killed almost 350 farm animals, or it had been accredited to kill almost 350 farm animals. Most of these animals were birds, chickens, peacocks, turkeys, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But pigs, sheep, goats were among the targets.
Yeah, they were coming up.
The goats were the most famous thing. Most people in Puerto Rico get their milk and stuff from goats. Not a lot of cattle.
Okay.
Island life. Goats are a lot better. I love goats. I'd rather have goat milk than cow milk.
Yeah.
So goats, I think, why the goat name stuck, because Chupacabra literally means goat sucker.
It's going to be funny.
Yeah. But why the name stuck, or why the goat thing was so important, is because the goat was much more important to the everyday life than the chicken or the pig was.
Mm-hmm.
The pig is only butchered once.
Or the rooster.
Yeah. But any of it. It just, we can't do the joke on here.
Okay.
We'll do it on a Patreon.
Okay.
But it's just the name, it literally killed mostly chickens and birds. Like a lot of birds out of those farms. But a couple pigs, like it killed more pigs than it did goats. But the goats are just more financially important to the poorer people than anything else.
They're a bigger part of the culture, so have them when they do get
It's like a dog.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not necessarily, but it's a very important socioeconomic thing for your household is the goat. Mm-hmm. Your milk, your cheese, your butter, all comes from that animal.
I don't know why I just thought of. You ever seen Don't Mess with the Zohan?
Yes.
My goat.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Yeah. See, completely different country, but
I know, but it just made me think of him. But see, it's important to people.
So now we're gonna start time traveling.
Okay, so I just didn't realize though this all started in '95.
Yeah,
that's
the year I was born.
That's nuts.
There was a Chupacabra murder or attack on my birth.
Oh,
I am the Chupacabra.
Yes, sounds like it.
But except they started killing 2 months before I was born.
Oh, okay, maybe you're the spirit of what was killed. Yeah, it embodied you.
And I don't want to spoil too much stuff, but one of your favorite cryptids that I did not tell you before recording. I told you a lot of stuff before recording.
Okay.
But one of your favorite cryptids makes a return in this episode.
Ooh, I can't wait to hear it.
It's not the Men in Black.
Yeah, I don't like them. They're not my favorite. They can suck it for all I care.
But I have a little article to read. I'm trying not to read as much of this episode, but I have a little article to read by Nick Redfern about the pre-1995 stuff.
Pre-95?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of stuff. But yeah, this is by Nick Redfern. In September of 1959, a groundbreaking paper was published by a scientific journal, the scientific journal Nature. Its title was Searching for the Interstellar Communications. The author was two physicists, Philip Morris and Galuhis Consuelo, were both of Cornell University. In essence, the paper was a study of how microwaves might have successfully used to seek alien intelligence in other parts of the universe. It had a great effect on Frank Drake, the man who, after having carefully read the report, embarked on his life career in searching for the universe for aliens. Drake began his work in West Virginia based out of Green Bank National Radio Astronomy Observatory. He was, without a doubt, a star of the search for interstellar life. He was, without a doubt, the star of the search for interstellar life, SETI. Conferences that were held at the observatory on October 1961, Drake ultimately gravitated towards Puerto Rico, home of the Araco radio telescope. That's that big one you see in the mountains.
Yeah. Is that the one that, in the mountains?
Yeah. That whole valley got turned into a radio dish.
Is that the one they used in James Bond GoldenEye, the final scene?
Maybe. It may be. But yeah, that's that gigantic one you see. Everybody thinks it's in the Amazon.
Okay, yeah.
It's not. It's in Puerto Rico.
American territory.
Oh, yeah. Where else would it be?
I don't know.
The other one's in Hawaii.
Oh, God. Yeah, the big one. Yeah.
This one may be bigger than the one in Hawaii, but the one in Hawaii is in a better location now.
Okay, because it's on top of the mountain, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And there's almost no stuff interfering with it. So, yeah, he actually became the director of that telescope.
I think that is the one from James Bond. I'm almost 100% certain it is. So James Bond, 007, Goldeneye, when he fights 006 at the very end of the movie, and they fall from that satellite and it falls on them, that's this one we're talking about.
Yep. So Nick Redfern states, Puerto Rico has an amazing UK rainforest midway through the 60s. Something decidedly strange happened at the telescope. Something that may have well directed bearing upon the Chupacabra phenomenon. A guard reporter one day seeing a curious character roaming around the edge of the installation. What made the man, if it was a man, so curious was his attire, a long black coat. The guard apparently had his own idea of what he was seeing, one of the undead, a vampire. The reports of the affair were prepared for Drake's attention. That was far from the end of the matter, however. 48 hours after the sighting, Drake said, I really was forced to look into it because a cow was found dead nearby on the farm. Its blood completely drained from its body. Basically, I'm going to sum this up for you. For the now we're in the 1960s. A lot of vampire attacks started happening around this telescope.
Vampire attacks?
Yeah, cows being drained of blood.
Now,
and there were necropsies on these cows. There were published necropsies on these cows. They were like 60% missing blood.
Really?
And it's crazy to get that much blood out of an animal.
Yeah. And you said something about earlier, like they weren't drained of blood. Is it you're saying just completely, but there was blood?
Right. When they say it was completely drained of blood. Now, there could be a large quantities of blood missing, but it's almost impossible to drain an animal completely.
Dry, yeah.
Most of the time when an animal dies, all the blood settles to one side of the body.
Okay.
So if you're doing a necropsy, you cut that side first to see if there's a bunch of coagulated blood.
Gotcha.
But no, this bunch of cows and stuff. This vampire-like figure was being seen. Stalking the telescope.
That is weird. Okay.
Men in Black-ish, alien-ish, and oh gosh, aliens make a comeback in this story. Big time.
Okay. Is that the cryptid you were talking about?
No.
Okay. Dang
it. I'm telling you, this story's all over the place.
Yeah.
I know I didn't focus a lot on the first Chupacabra sightings because it's a lot bigger than that.
So it did start before. So the name Chupacabra started
in 95. The creature
beforehand.
Bloodsucking is not uncommon to Puerto Rico.
Gotcha. Okay.
So let's move on to 1975. There was a creature that became known as the Morocco vampire surfaced. Nick Redfern was searching for the Chupacabra/vampire Morocco, noted for its fruit industry and cattle farming. Morocco is a cool place filled with old atmospheric buildings, surrounded by amazing forested land and green hills. The municipality was back in the mid 1970s home for something else too, the Moroccan vampire. Not Morocco the country, Morocco the state or the town.
Oh, I thought you meant like the little instrument.
It may be named after it, but
okay.
It was the most apt title for the creature because it was a brief havoc and mayhem it caused in March of 1975. Pigs, goats, chickens, geese, cows, and even pets were found violently slaughtered, specifically in the Puerto suburb of Morocco. I know this as not just a guy on the crew, but numerous locals in Morocco itself too. They were happy to reveal all during the course of my first expedition to the island. This is Redfern talking. The bodies of these dead animals were found quickly collected by the authorities and subjugated to necropsies, which had saved all which said to have all demonstrated at least some point of blood draining and notable amounts of blood missing. The people in the area, hardly surprised, were plunged into a state of fear and anxiety. Children were kept indoors at night. Armed police patrolled the streets after sunset. Matters came to a horrifying climax when the monster turned its attention away from animals towards a human population. Thankfully, the beast left its island animals alone after this. So there's a really good chance this was Santa Maria.
What do you mean?
That these were people practicing the religion of Santa Maria.
Oh, okay.
Not an actual creature.
Okay. But it all started along when that satellite though got installed, right?
No, this is a different area of the island, 1975. So that was me talking. You're talking about the previous thing with 1960.
Oh yeah. Well, I meant like the sighting started after the satellite was up and running, correct?
Of the mysterious cloaked vampire. This is a different vampire in Puerto Rico.
Gotcha. Okay.
Whole different side of the island.
Now I understand.
But yeah, like a lot of farm animals, and then it attacked a couple people.
So it sounds like if it was the Santa Maria practicing folk, they graduated from animals to humans. Does that make sense?
Well, let's just hold on to that. Okay. And because the Santa Maria, I really want to talk about Santa Maria a little bit later.
Okay.
Because I really hate when people blame any religion for anything.
Like cult stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's documentation that there was some stuff really involving Santa Maria with these cases.
Oh, okay. Well, do you want to do the first sighting first? Because I have an explanation, or I know I have some thoughts on that.
Oh, okay. Before I move on?
Yes.
Okay, because the next is a whole UFO angle.
Okay. Well, I mean...
First sighting. Which one are you talking about?
So
the lady just seeing the creature?
No, the one in 1960, you know...
Oh, the vampire around the satellite.
Stuff. Yeah, so...
Okay.
I think I've talked about in the show before, the movie Howard the Duck.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen it, right?
Yeah.
The Dark Overlords.
Mm.
So they're pulling down these creatures from a different dimension through this giant, like, telescope, satellite dish, tractor beam thing. What if that's like some sort of kind of soft disclosure? If you look up this satellite, if you don't know what we're talking about, the one from James Bond, this thing is so huge and massive.
You keep calling it a satellite. It's a telescope.
Telescope, sorry. It's just shaped like a satellite. Because it's got that big dome-like shape, you know? Sorry. It's definitely a telescope, but it's like a weird...
It's a radio telescope.
Yeah, so it's like
different. Satellite dish is what you're saying it's shaped like.
Yes, that's what I mean. Satellite dish shape. Dish.
It's a mountain.
Yeah, it's a big valley, but it's huge. It's so big. I don't know. I'm just saying it could be used for other things than what they're saying. Or maybe the radio waves are drawing in things from different dimensions. They're trying to pull open.
Let's say you're right. It could be definitely used as, like, let's say a transmitter.
Yeah.
Not just a receiver.
And someone's, like, riding the waves of this transmitter.
Or just knows where to go.
Or that, too, yeah.
It may just, like, be coordinates. Like, if you have a transmitter, it's producing coordinates, a spot.
A beacon, like, come here.
Mm-hmm.
It's drawing these things in. Or yeah, it's just like in Howard the Duck.
There you go.
And they accidentally grab...
a vampire?
Whatever these things are. Yeah, something from a different dimension. And
or...
getting sucked right here.
Or... is it the reptilian overlords just keeping a watch and grabbing a snack as they're keeping the watch?
So they're the ones... What do you mean keeping watch?
That making sure we don't find anything with SETI.
Oh, okay. So they're, like, monitoring it.
Mm-hmm. And they get hungry.
Oh, for sure.
Get a cow.
Just hang out in the woods here.
Mm-hmm.
This rainforest that no one's in.
Oh, gosh. We have a whole thing to talk about the rainforest. Believe me, the rainforest is very important for this story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But that was my first thought about that. Like, it's this satellite-shaped, dish-shaped telescope is crazy big. It's crazy big. And they just started, and in the 60s was a weird time. They were doing a lot of weird experiments everywhere. So who knows what they were actually
But
up
the
to.
60s were not knuckle draggers.
Correct. They were not. Just, unless they were taught to be.
They were trying everything.
Yes. Experimental age, which is good. That's how you learn new things.
Yeah, so definitely, it's really weird with the satellite.
Yeah.
Now you got me calling it a satellite.
Satellite dish.
Telescope.
Yeah.
It's a telescope. It's a radio telescope.
But it's a giant satellite dish.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's what a radio telescope is.
Yeah, exactly. Just so you're in your mind's eye, you can picture it. Or just Google it. Look it up. Puerto Rican giant telescope. It's there. Just look it up.
So let's go a completely different angle in a completely different time on the same island of Puerto Rico.
Okay.
I'm going to start calling Puerto Rico tropical Ohio.
Oh, I like it.
Because everything happens there.
I like it. Okay.
This is going to be really reminiscent of the Mothman, that the Mothman may not have been the most exciting thing happening, but a byproduct.
Yeah.
So, the UFO angle. The UFO was sighted by around 30 witnesses in the area of a possible crash. The rumor of the craft full of creatures resembling chupacabras popped up. And this is, once again, in 1985.
Okay.
Nick Redfern talked to a bunch of these witnesses. All these witnesses were saying, yeah, in this area in El-Yunque National Forest, this big white disc glowing crashed. It was kind of billowing smoke. And it was literally jam-packed full of 3-foot-tall, big black-eyed reptile-like creatures. And when it crashed, they just poured out of the thing and took off.
Interesting.
Now, could this have just been a bunch of locals screwing with the British-speaking man from Texas?
Okay, could be.
Asking too many questions about chupacabras.
Yeah. I mean, always a possibility.
But yeah, so yeah, I agree. Yeah, I could definitely see a bunch of guys sitting there drinking their beer. This British accent Texan is like asking so many questions about chupacabras. Like, well, we had a UFO crash, and they poured out into the rainforest. He's writing it down like a just a madman.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh my gosh, he's buying this. Tell him something else.
Yeah, keep going.
And we had flying vampires.
Yeah.
And a whale.
They all just chime in.
Yeah. But no.
I don't know why they sound like that.
This is actually corroborated. I can't talk at all. Corroborated by MUFON.
Okay.
They have over half a dozen UFO crash reports in this area of this time frame.
Interesting.
And there's a high-ranking. So this is a MUFON report, and I don't have a MUFON membership, so I can only get articles talking about the MUFON report.
Okay.
So this is third-hand stuff. But there's apparently a high-ranking U.S. military officer who wishes to remain nameless, who said he was there a part of the recovery team for the 1985 crash in LUK National Rainforest in Puerto Rico. He said that the ship crashed, a whole bunch of bodies of these little green creatures everywhere, but there's a whole bunch of live ones still in the ship. They are part of the capture team. A bunch of these creatures got away, but they ended up shooting at one, and it left green phosphorescent blood.
Okay.
Well, what does that sound like?
Green phosphorescent blood.
Yeah. Predator.
Oh, you're right.
But he made this official report 3 years before the movie Predator came out.
Oh, so what if this was the precursor to kind of Predator's another soft disclosure thing?
Yeah. I'm telling you, this story goes everywhere.
Oh, my gosh. I didn't know it had... Oh. I do believe that Hollywood, hides everything.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
This is perfect for Predator.
So, yeah, this also says the bodies that they did recover were shipped to Roosevelt Road Naval Station and then shipped back to the U.S. Because there are U.S. Army bases there, naval bases.
In Puerto Rico.
In Puerto Rico, everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's a U.S. territory.
Yeah.
I mean, of course we're going to have all of our stuff there everywhere. We have in every other country in the world, just about.
But yeah, there's a lot of reports of this crash that happened. And there's some reports saying they were chupacabra-like creatures. So this unnamed military officer described the creatures like a chupacabra before the chupacabra was a thing.
Gotcha. Well, that adds to some credibility to the story, I guess.
And Puerto Rico is one of the top UFO observing spots in the world.
Now that I didn't know.
And it is the capital for USO sightings.
What are submerged objects?
There is tons and tons and tons of UFO activity around Puerto Rico constantly.
Did not know that.
Yeah. And some people think it's because of SETI.
Well,
there's also
correlation.
Yeah, there's also we'll talk about here in a bit, a bunch of underground military bases, and Puerto Rico is pretty much hollow.
Why am I not surprised?
It's almost all a giant cave system.
Why am I not surprised here?
The public is banned from entering. Nobody has gone in the caves of Puerto Rico in over 100 years.
See, red flags.
But we'll get to that. See, I told you. We haven't even got to your buddy.
It's a wormhole. Oh, so it's an underground cave creature.
No.
Okay, darn it.
Maybe. But before we go any further, I want to talk about LUK National Rainforest. This is the only tropical rainforest that belongs to the National Forest Service of the U.S. With almost 29,000 acres. It is one of the smallest in the territory extension, but has the most biological diversity of any national forest.
More than Tennessee?
Yes, total.
Dang.
Tennessee has the most amphibians and fish.
Okay.
Not the most mammals.
Okay.
And birds. There's a lot of birds. Oh my gosh. The list of birds in this rainforest was crazy.
Is sandhill crane on that list?
Yes.
Oh, I knew it.
He's coming back. Don't worry.
Is that the one you were talking
Nope.
about? Oh, okay.
See, I love the Puerto Rican chupacabras are great.
Yeah.
But no, so what that basically means is this has incredible biodiversity, and they are constantly discovering new species. They just discovered this past year, 2022, like 8 birds, a bunch of amphibians.
That's crazy on this little island.
A lot of stuff in there is venomous.
Okay.
So
it's hard.
There's not been much encroachment
Yeah.
on the rainforest in like the last 300 years, because if you go in there, you will pick up something that will kill you.
I don't know.
And the roving packs of jungle dogs will eat you.
You need one of those giant, in the new Jurassic Park movies, the big ball that like rolls around, big hamster wheel for
Yeah, there
humans.
you go. You need that in there.
Yeah.
Until you fall into a hole, and then you're like, chupacabras are climbing over the glass. Like,
that'd be a great documentary.
But yeah, I want to just go over some species of note. Mammals first. The bat biodiversity is amazing.
Okay.
They have some of the largest non-African flying fruit bats on the planet.
Like that one we thought was the Jersey Devil? What's that called?
A hammerhead bat.
Hammerhead bat.
They're from Africa, but
are.
there's other giant fruiting bats in the El-Yunque National Rainforest.
Okay.
And there's plenty of little bats and vampire bats. There are actual vampire bats here. Feral cats, feral dogs, a lot of bats, mice, rats. Small Indian mongoose is an invasive species that has taken. It started with 12 individuals and exploded. Now they are a problem. They will come back later.
Okay. Giant mongoose.
Wink, wink. Birds. I'm trying to pull out any note. There's tons. Oh my gosh, tons. Green-beaked herons are quite large. I'm trying to find your sandhill crane. There's some cockatoos.
Some big ones.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like those birds.
Screech owls.
Ooh.
I think cockatoos are invasive because I think cockatoos are from Australia.
Okay.
A lot of hawks, pigeons, a lot of tiny hawks, night herons, and a lot of dove species.
Okay.
A lot of snakes and lizards. But some of the coolest snakes on the planet live in Puerto Rico, including the common worm snake, the common blind snake, the wetlands blind snake. So these are little tiny snakes that you can't see their eyes, and some of these species actually have scales over their eyes.
Are they like cave snakes?
No, they live in the dirt.
Oh, they just live underground.
The worm snake literally looks like an earthworm.
Oh, nice.
Same size.
But it's a snake.
Yeah. Amphibians, they're almost all one family of frog.
Oh, okay.
And it's the corky.
Yeah.
It's almost spelled like the dog.
Oh, okay.
Corky. But there's hundreds, 100 species of them.
Are they poisonous?
All amphibians are poisonous. But
okay.
I don't think there's anything like poison dart frogs, nothing like that.
Yeah.
The only frog that's not the only frog, but the main frog that's not in that family group is the North American bullfrog, which is invasive.
Okay.
Fish species.
Ooh, your favorite.
Yeah, American eels, big mouth sleeper, fathead minnow, which is invasive, guppies, green swordtails, mountain mullets, which you know what a mullet is, right?
Yeah.
The ocean fish.
Yep.
These are ones that literally climb all the way up in the mountains in these little streams.
Oh, nice. Okay.
They're really cool. Bunch of gobies, fat sleepers, spiny cheek sleepers, big red crayfish, and a lot of shrimp, and freshwater crabs.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Land invertebrates. Flannel moth, flower fly, ground beetles, little fire ants, which are worse than big fire ants because you can't kill them with your hand. Velvet worms.
Oh.
Are native
to Puerto Rico?
Yes.
No way.
Giant walking sticks and whiptail scorpions.
Oh, I've seen them before.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have one.
Yeah. So yeah, Puerto Rico has an amazing biodiversity.
You haven't named. Is there like a big predator? Like, what's the big predator in Puerto Rico? Like, bigger creature?
Pretty much dogs. But there's no native giant predator. It's going to be a reptile. One of the snakes. There's tons of snake species.
Okay, so that's...
Lizards. It'd probably be more lizards.
Filling that niche.
Yeah. The invasive species are quite high. Pigs, mongoose, a couple of species of birds like rock pigeons, which can cause food poisoning and other toxoplasticity diseases.
Ew. Dirty birds.
Green iguanas are their big problem right now. Well, not just invasives are a real big threat. Invasives are probably wiping out 4 to 5 undocumented species in Puerto Rico every year.
Okay.
Like species we don't even know exist are being wiped off the planet due to the invasives in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Island ecosystems are incredibly delicate.
As you say, vulnerable.
Yeah. But it's just crazy. So that's pretty much all for the main story. I know there was like 150 cases we could have gone into.
Yeah.
But I think most of the time should be spent on the explanations.
Oh, for sure. Because this can go any which way.
Like, I think we're already like an hour in.
Oh, dang. I definitely have my thoughts. I think I know what some of this stuff might be or is.
An hour or two. Do you want to split it into 2 episodes?
If we can.
So, let's just make it a big one.
Okay.
Season 3 opener.
Yeah.
Let's just go for it.
Yeah, send it. Full send.
We just gave somebody a heart attack. They're going to have to wait another week.
Yeah, no, we need to know.
All right. Explanations. Santa Maria.
Okay, here we go.
This is a religion that involves a lot of sacrifice.
Say, is it like voodoo?
No, I'm not a religious expert.
Okay.
And I really hate blaming religions for anything.
Yeah.
But Santa Maria is known for a lot of really brutal livestock sacrifices and even attempted people sacrifices.
So it's like ritual stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is fine.
Oh, yeah, we don't judge nobody.
Yeah, Abrahamic religions, which we're a part of, sacrificed animals for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's whatever. The problem is Santa Maria uses a lot of other people's animals.
Okay, not their own.
That's where things get tricky, because if you come into my house and try to sacrifice one of my chickens...
Yeah, you try to sacrifice my dog.
I will kill you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Your sacrifice will not work very efficiently.
No, you will be sacrificed.
But no, so the problem with this in Santa Maria in Puerto Rico is a lot of people got caught doing this, stealing other people's livestock for sacrifice or sacrificing them on the properties that the animals belong to.
Okay.
So like breaking into your yard and then sacrificing your chickens in your backyard.
Yeah, right in front of you.
Like that happened a lot. They even arrested some Santa Maria practicers that admitted to going to areas with reported chupacabra attacks so they wouldn't get caught, and admitted to spreading chupacabra rumors so they could work in an area more efficiently.
And not have to face the...
Yeah, they had like a dozen people admit that.
Interesting. So it was a story they were giving out for sure.
Yeah, I mean... They got caught doing it. There was one guy, and them don't name names. We don't name names on this show for this kind of stuff. But there was one guy that literally was going to like grocery stores, like, chupacabra got my chickens last night, and going around telling everybody. He didn't even have any animals.
They were just planting stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it was a trained thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this happened semi-frequently. What do you think about that one?
Well, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense that. Obviously, if you're going to be doing it, you're going to need a way to cover your tracks. So there you go. That's an easy way to do it.
I know, like...
But it also gives credence to, like, them that actually being a thing before they were doing that as well, too.
Yeah.
I think. Unless they were doing it all along and then they just made up the chupacabra story. But someone had to have seen something for it to take hold somewhere. All
right. The next one. CPRC.
CPRC.
Can you guess what it stands for?
I don't know.
You want me to give you the first word?
Sure.
Caribbean.
Pirate.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Caribbean Primate Research Center.
Oh, okay. I was close.
The Caribbean Primate Research Center is a small island offshore of the main Puerto Rico, but not that big of a distance.
Okay.
Just like here in the U.S., Plum Island.
Oh.
Or 3 Mile Island. Or any of these really bad areas. Because it's the same thing.
Which is where all the ticks come from.
Mm-hmm. So it has been active since the 1930s. So really predating any real chupacabra or any Puerto Rican vampire stories.
Mm-hmm.
It had a group of 10 rhesus monkeys escape the lab on the island. And they're still on the island. And there's over 2,000 of them on this little island. So now it's called Monkey Island.
Interesting. Okay.
They can't catch all the rhesus monkeys. The rhesus monkeys actually made it to shore and are now a very big invasive problem.
On Puerto Rico.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Rhesus monkeys are not that big.
No, they're not. They're small little guys.
Yeah.
Are these the guys like in India? Are they from there?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know off the top of my head. Okay. I know that's weird for me, but I don't.
I'm just trying to think of the monkeys.
They're
that
like 2-pound monkeys.
That run the towns and stuff.
Yeah, these are like Yeah, it's those kind of monkeys.
Okay.
Yeah, yes. So they were brought there for a research. They were doing everything from AIDS research to like all kinds of various stuff. But rhesus monkeys got out and are now everywhere on Puerto Rico.
That's not good.
There's no native, as far as I know from my research, there's no native monkeys to Puerto Rico. But now there's monkeys everywhere.
Wasn't it just a couple years ago there was a truck transporting those monkeys in Pennsylvania and it flipped?
And they had to kill them all because they were all carrying very, very bad diseases.
Did they kill them all?
Yes, they had to.
No, did they actually catch and kill them all?
Hopefully. They were very serious about it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a cover-up thing. Like, they were, like, going through people's yards and shooting monkeys.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Why even have this stuff going on in the first place?
Why transport them on a major road?
I can't stand any of this.
That's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
For another show.
Yeah, so they were doing all kinds of disease research on these monkeys. But as far as we know, they never had any bigger species. But we'll get to that.
Okay.
Mostly worked with the small guys. But like I said, they made it to the mainland. They have there's a really big local rumor that they do experiments on monkeys. They've seen hairless monkeys. They've seen monkeys that look like they have scales.
Yeah.
They've seen monkeys that look like they have scales.
I know what you're talking about.
Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
That's what I think it is.
Anyways, they have all these really disease-ridden animals, and they escape pretty regularly. This is not a really good research institute.
Sounds like it,
as far as I can tell.
Yeah,
and maybe they've made some great breakthroughs, but they lose a lot of animals.
Yeah,
Plum Island lost a tick. I get that. They're tiny. These are monkeys.
Yeah,
these are the size of cats.
You might want to beef up your barbed wire fence.
Imagine,
fund.
yeah. I mean, if it gets outside the building, you're not going to catch it. I agree with that. Like, you're not catching a monkey.
But keep it in the walls.
You can keep it in the cage.
Right, exactly.
Padlock. But anyways, there's a lot of rumors that they're doing all these crazy experiments, and the U.S. government was involved. The U.S. government ships have been seen going back and forth to the island. I think pretty much the official story right now is that they're just resupplying, helping out, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But the side story is claiming that they've been researching them to create monkey super weapons, and that they may have had some bigger animals.
So hybrids.
Like what? Like what do you mean?
Like they're making monkey super
like genetically,
hybrids.
like I wouldn't say hybridization specifically, but genetically altering and training these animals. We'll get to it, but Puerto Rico is the capital of where the U.S. tests random stuff on civilians. You think it's bad here in the U.S.? We'll talk about Ancient Orange here in a bit.
Okay.
We tried to melt Puerto Rico, and they couldn't do anything about it.
That's why there's probably two class people. The ones that keep super poor and the ones they can't touch.
So about 10 miles away from this lab, in 1987, a woman was walking, and she heard a big, big pig going nuts, freaking out, just screaming. So she runs over the hill because somebody's livestock is getting murdered.
Yeah.
And she sees 6 rhesus monkeys. Keep in mind, these are cat-sized monkeys murdering this pig, like 300-pound pig.
Dang.
And then guess where they were biting it?
Right in the neck.
Yep. They were trying to bite through its neck. And they have 2 big long fangs. And they're biting, and they're biting on the back of the head.
Like the peacocks.
Yeah. So they're going for these target areas on this large animal.
They know.
Yeah. And the other monkeys, so there's like 2 or 3 biting it, and the rest of them were keeping the pig running. So it couldn't focus on fighting off the ones that were going for its vitals.
Right, exactly.
But then the lady scared off the monkeys. Literally, the second the monkey seen the lady, they took off.
Like they know humans are bad.
Yeah.
Like they were experimenting on them.
Well, remember the earlier Chupacabra stories.
Right, yeah.
Every time the Chupacabra gets caught by a person,
it runs.
It runs.
Yeah. It's like because they know humans are bad.
Like, yeah.
They were experimented on.
Yeah.
These are experiments. I'm convinced.
Well, there's some better ones later, but...
Okay.
But I'm just saying, yeah. So there's all this stuff with the monkeys. I definitely think the Chupacabra could be a very messed up group of primates. Primates are very intelligent. This creature that was seen, remember from some of the earlier stories, was opening doors.
Yeah, intelligent.
Was very intelligent.
Getting in the chicken.
Did not look like a monkey. I'll
Yeah.
give him that. But a very, very messed up monkey. Some of these smaller species of monkey have gigantic eyes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the red ones, though. It's just like...
And the red eyes will pop up later again and again and again.
Okay.
But, who knows what the red eyes are.
We don't, yeah.
But we could have installed night vision into these monkeys.
Right, exactly. It could be blood vessels or something. I don't know. Who knows what there's.
So what are you thinking about the monkey?
Well, I believe in the U.S. doing experiments, especially like.
Oh, don't worry. That's not the only one on here for the U.S. doing experiments.
Yeah. Well, I just think they definitely are, and well, we know they are. We know they're doing, and for what reasons? I mean, we kind of got a peek behind the curtain in 2020 with all that weird biological experiments, leaking or getting out. But with that revealed what experiments we were doing on animals and things like that too, with the beagles and stuff, like information that came out. We know they're doing experiments, and who knows how long, but why not do it on an island, on U.S. territory, on an island? Who knows what they were actually doing?
For people you really don't care about.
Yeah,
as far as the U.S. government goes.
Is concerned, yeah, they don't care about them.
And if you think we're wrong in that statement, I will tell you about Agent Orange and stuff like that later for Puerto Rico, for the U.S. government. Well, they don't care about, at least in this time frame we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Well, even in the modern times, there's that story that came out,
from Puerto Rico?
From Puerto Rico, how our government treats them is when COVID and all that stuff was going on, they shipped all that water to Puerto Rico, and then Puerto Rico's like, our president's not doing anything for us. He's not shipping us. We don't have any water. We have no clean drinking water. Turns out they had like pallets and pallets and pallets loaded, tons of water. They let sit on an airstrip, but they pretended they didn't have it just for political gain. Like, they don't care. They don't care about actually helping people. Never have.
So what is your vote on the monkey?
100% a possibility.
Okay.
100%.
So far we got Santa Maria and genetically engineered monkeys.
Mm-hmm. That escaped.
Yeah, and but that may sound. We know the monkeys escaped.
Yes.
We know a bunch of monkeys escaped this facility.
Yes.
There's still monkeys to this day swimming to the mainland from this island.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You can literally stand on the beach and watch monkeys swim from the island.
So I think very much these things could be some accounts, especially the things dying. The only thing is, the monkeys suck blood. I don't know.
No, so I don't. Once again, the blood sucking aspect may not be. They'll lap up blood and stuff like that, sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's more of the fang marks and the areas the animals were attacked.
Yes.
Are vital areas. It takes a very smart predator of a very small stature to target those areas.
Right.
You have a very small animal that's trying to take down a much bigger animal due to not being in their natural habitat, stuff like that. The food sources they normally exploit aren't present, so they got to get risky. We see that with all animals all the time. When they get hungry and they're not in their natural habitat, they'll get risky.
Yep.
Because they don't know what they're doing, in they don't know the area.
Right, exactly. So they're doing what they can do.
All right, next one, aliens. These creatures are actually the escapees from the UFO crashes.
Yeah.
And they could be intelligent passengers, or they could be what we would consider their version of dogs or organic robots or something like that.
Yeah, I was going to say biological drones or something.
Yeah, so there's plenty of evidence suggesting that a UFO did crash. Nick Redfern even found the impact crater.
Dang.
He's got pictures with it, everything. It's cool. Something hit there hard.
Yeah. So, what are the odds that... What if we're creating these creatures, these drones, and we're the ones that launch them to crash on purpose so they would escape from a UFO-type vehicle? I don't know. Could have just been launched out of a big slingshot and just meant to crash there.
So, Ryan from Appalachian Intelligence, I was listening. They just did a Roswell thing.
Uh-huh.
And he just made a statement saying that what if the Roswell crash was one of the UFOs we got from Antarctica?
Yeah.
And we didn't really know how to fly it back, and it crashed because we were flying it really bad.
Could be.
So what if this is one of those?
Yeah. Oh,
Trying to fly another one back.
But loaded with these creatures.
Yeah. Who knows? I don't know. This is a weird one. This one has a lot of oh my gosh.
Collaborations?
Yes. With MUFON and eyewitnesses, Nick Redfern's own research, it all comes together for this one. I do believe whatever UFOs are, at least for the most part, one of them did hit the ground here.
Yeah, okay.
Whether they have anything to really do with the Chupacabra, all these things happened so far.
And that satellite dish type telescope thing could have just, if these crafts actually fly, or I don't know, could have got disturbed by all those waves.
Sure.
And just, I don't know, rotted its system and it crashed it, which is why there could be multiple crashes there. I don't know. Could it degrade their...
So aliens, yeah or nay? Or alien drones?
Go at 60% possible. I don't know.
So what are you rating them all? What are you rating Santa Maria?
I think they all could have happened. I think all these could play a part in it.
I'm pretty much there with you so far.
Yeah.
The alien one is probably the one I don't really think happened.
Yeah.
I do think that a UFO crashed there.
Right. Yeah.
I just think it happened to crash in an area with cryptids.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think Chupacabra has anything to do with the UFO.
You don't think they were piloting this thing and it popped out?
No, I'm pretty sure these things aren't that intelligent.
And unless there's just ended up in some sort of ball of energy, or they all got trapped in and they got launched here, which is what we drew in from the Dark Overlord. Yeah, if we drew them in like Howard the Duck style, in his in that soft disclosure.
Were you gonna say season 3 or what?
I don't know what I was gonna say. Howard the Duck. I don't know what I was gonna say, but something like the Howard the Duck style. They got pulled here, and that vessel they got pulled here through, like maybe that's the energy beam we sent out, and it collected all of them
on accident,
and it pulled them back in this giant ball of energy. And then when it hit the ground, it crashed and burst open, and they all shot out.
A bunch of green hamsters pour out into the jungle.
Yes, exactly.
Are you ready for the next one?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The Tasmanian tiger.
Okay. Tasmanian tiger. Is this the stripe thing? No, that's a thylacine.
It's the same thing.
Oh, it is the same
thing. The thylacine is a Tasmanian tiger.
Okay.
You want more information, I'm guessing?
I guess so, because...
No, so it said that the government at this time, in the 80s, was experimenting with their own private breeding collection of Tasmanian tigers. They were trying to make them into, like, super government dogs, replacing dogs. They had a much... They didn't have a harder bite, but they had a better bite. They had more stamina. They could actually stand up and hop like a kangaroo.
Okay.
A lot of the Chupacabra on force stands up and will hop a little bit and get back down. Big black eyes, long, thick tail. I don't believe this one whatsoever, just so everybody knows. But it gets said a lot that the government just released the Tasmanian tigers onto Puerto Rico to experiment to see if they could do their recon, if they could work, and they didn't. And they just disappeared. Like, they're still living. They just took off and like, okay, we're going to live here now.
Yeah, okay.
Because it is kind of similar to some of their homes in Tasmania.
Okay.
And we already know how secretive. I mean, listen back to season 2. I believe it was somewhere we did the Tasmanian tiger. But how secretive they are.
Yes, how recluse they can be.
And have this kind of jungle.
Yeah.
They could disappear. They mostly ate birds. Remember when we talked about it?
Mm-hmm. And
the island is literally full of ground-dwelling birds.
Which makes sense. Yeah, it fits that niche. Yeah, the only way I would say this could be one of them is if it was like they're hybridizing, maybe that and these monkeys together.
No, but it's like if it was, first off, how was it opening doors? They didn't have hands. Second off,
monkey hands.
They would have just eaten the birds.
Monkey hands, monkey brains, thylacine mouth. There you go.
The thylacine mouth is bigger than most of the chickens. That's the other thing is everybody's like, they have the big long canines for puncturing. Like, their jaw could swallow the whole chicken.
Yeah, it didn't
Why are
matter.
they puncturing the neck? Just eat the chicken.
It's the monkey brain in them.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what I see it. It popped up. I had to throw it on here.
Yeah. I wouldn't.
This is a 0%.
Yeah, I'll put this one out.
Negative 2%.
Okay.
Whatever is below 0.
I think that fits.
Okay. Just other basic government experiments. This is some kind of test they're running. It could be anything. I just had this in general because so we tested Super Agent Orange on the Puerto Rican public without them knowing.
Gosh,
we literally dumped it from planes.
Over them?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We killed a lot of people with Super Agent Orange in Puerto Rico.
Awful.
During and before before Vietnam War. We did all kinds of fire flash tests. We've been just screwing around with Puerto Rico for a long time.
Awful people doing awful things.
Mm-hmm. So I just had that as a basic thing. It's some other government test we can't really think of because it's just a little. The amount of stuff they could be doing is just so dramatic.
Right.
So I just kind of had this out there.
When one of the known ones is dropping Agent Orange on people. Super Agent Orange. Imagine what we don't know we're actually doing.
Like, man.
What aren't they disclosing? If they're disclosing that.
Why is it raining? High C.
Yeah, acid.
Why is it raining high C? Where's my skin going?
Yeah, why is my face melting off?
Yeah, so what do you think about that one?
What do you mean, as far as?
Just what's your you've been putting a percentage rating?
What? Of
plausibility.
Of just government experiments in general? Oh, 100%. 100%. I'm putting this one. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's your guy. So this creature was seen in congruence with Chupacabra attacks. Been seen all over Puerto Rico over 3 to 4 decades. Can be quite large and ferocious in his own right. The Bat Squatch.
He's back.
He's back, baby.
Bat Squatch.
It's Bat Squatch. Chupacabra's Bat Squatch. Now, does that sound weird?
A little bit.
So Anne, a woman, stated in 1975, her village had a bunch of dead dogs, but they found something really strange about the bodies. The bones and the skulls were missing. Like almost like the skin, the meat, and the organs was ripped away from the skeleton.
Okay.
It's super weird, but there's documentation to prove that, like in the newspapers around the time, that this was happening. She witnessed a 5-foot-tall, bat-like creature, highly muscular, walking out. One night she was coming home on the path. It was walking out in front of her. It looked at her. It had glowing red eyes. It opened 2 giant wings, 15 foot each, 30 foot diameter.
Dang.
And just took off. And she just kept saying, the creature's so muscular. This 5-foot-tall one was seen quite often in the years leading after, or the years after 1975 in this little village in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
But in 1985, a 4-foot-tall, much weaker, much skinnier creature of the same type of scene. Did have the glowing red eyes, very bat-like, almost bat monkey-like. But it was seen dragging its wings, and it was seen by witnesses. It just kind of looked at them and kept walking in a straight line. It never flew.
Could have been a different creature altogether, though.
Yeah, probably the same species. It really seemed like the same thing, but very sickly.
Yeah.
Not doing very hot.
I was just going to say maybe just some giant bat, normal bat species.
But in 1996, a giant bat-like creature was attacking people that lived around an abandoned sugar mine. They actually burnt down the sugar mine to get rid of the creature.
Did it work?
Yeah, they left.
Okay,
they just this giant bat-like creature. And Puerto Rico does have giant bats, but no carnivorous, no bloodsuckers. They're all fruit bats.
Yeah. Okay.
Bat Squatch. Bat Squatch was seen in Puerto Rico at the same time of the attacks.
Interesting.
Attacking people.
And we do know that the one stuff, some of them were shredded. And when Bat Squatch was attacking that one dude under his car, it had its claws kind of things, like trying to shred him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So what if it's a giant Bat Squatch vampire bat?
Could be. It could be. Maybe. See, here's the thing with all these. I think there's a lot of different things going on.
Puerto Rico is a weird place. It's tropical Ohio.
I like it. I need to do more. I need to go to Puerto Rico.
I know. You didn't see why I'm having so much trouble researching this episode?
Yeah.
Because literally every time I'd research something, another rabbit hole would pop up.
So Bat Squatch could be a possibility on this one.
So let's rewind to Bat Squatch for a minute.
Yeah.
So Mount St. Helens destroyed the cave system we think Bat Squatch lived in.
Yeah.
Other places where Bat Squatch was seen had other mass cave systems.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the caves for just a second. Under Puerto Rico, the whole freaking island's hollow. There are at least 11 caverns. And what that means is these gigantic void spaces underground. At least 11 that are mapped from above ground LiDAR.
Wow. Okay.
Nobody's been allowed in the Puerto Rican cases for over 100 years.
That's weird.
Like, it's really weird. It's super strict to who's, like, even any kind of research can be going into them. It's extremely weird. There are hundreds of miles of caves in Puerto Rico.
Let's start a petition.
No, I don't want to get shot.
That's right.
So what if it's one of these cave creatures that are doing this? Bat Squatch included is one of these. You know, we think Bat Squatch mostly lived in the cave system.
Yeah.
Even like the Van Meter Visitor came out of a cave system. But the Dover Demon, all these other, long time ago, all these weird cave creatures coming up and feeding and going back down. It could be a myriad of cryptids that are living in this gigantic cave system that looks like it may be connected to the U.S. cave system also.
Which would not be surprised.
It's all underground. It doesn't matter. It's under the water table.
And Gulf of Mexico, is that like not too relatively deep? I have no idea.
Around the edge isn't.
Right, yeah, exactly. So it could.
Yeah.
There could be a cave from Florida to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I don't doubt it, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, cave creatures.
No,
But it was just weird because I was trying to research the caves, and the more I did, the more there's nothing.
Suspicious.
It is. It really is.
So,
I normally don't go with you on those kind of things.
But it is.
But this one is really weird.
I mean, all of our listeners, if you're bored, do a little poking around about the Puerto Rican cave system.
Go in them. Take pictures for us.
See if we can get some answers here.
Do a live stream on the Facebook page.
We need some national pressure,
Like I'm breaking into a Puerto Rican cave.
See what kind of attention it gets.
The Bat Squatch and the Dover Demon and the Frogmen are down there.
Playing cards.
And then they eat them.
Yeah.
No, so what do you think, Bat Squatch?
I'll put this one up. Some of the accounts could be this.
What if the Puerto Rico Chupacabra, the little one we see, is a baby bat squatch before it gets its wings? You ever seen baby bats? They look like maggots.
Maybe. Ooh, what if this is a breeding ground?
There you go.
That's not what I think it is, though.
So, what about? Here you go, Jay. Caves. Who else loves caves?
Reptiles.
Specifically?
Salamanders.
Oh, those aren't reptiles.
I don't know.
Reptilians.
I was going to say it. That's what I was alluding to, but I didn't know if you were going there.
Yeah, reptilians. Some people think this is a baby reptilian, or this is just some other type of reptilian. The amount of UFO activity, this could be them checking in on SETI, making sure they're not finding stuff. And they just, reptilians are known for aggressive hunting behavior.
Reptilians could have built that big satellite dish.
They could have.
Telescope. They could have had a part in playing,
keeping up.
To beam in
Puerto
there.
Rico would be a perfect place to keep an eye on it, too.
Oh, I've got...
underneath the cave systems, like it living, like the amount of access, like room you have.
I think I got a theory. What's going on now?
Okay, I got 3 more.
Oh, gosh.
I told you, this is going to be the longest part.
Well, then I'm going to tell you my theory because it involves these reptilians. So there's reptilians living underground. This is just like one of their home bases. One of their homesteads they got. So what they're doing is they're hybridizing themselves with human beings, the ones that are still around here. And I've seen like weird videos of like potentially, I don't know if they're reptilian or not, but it's these little human/babies that look like reptiles with big red eyes, like the babies. It's weird. But what if they are breeding here or trying to hybridize themselves here, get a foothold here, and then they built this giant satellite dish or use human beings, manipulate them, with mind speak or whatever they can do. Build this giant satellite homing device, tractor beam thing, and they're sucking in their relatives or their species beings from different dimensions and bringing them here to this island to use their DNA to create more of a population. I don't know. That's what's going on. Something like that. So all these are just, at least the ones with the red eyes, the little guys with the quills on their back, humanoid reptilians attempting their population,
uprising.
Yeah, this is where one of their home bases is. Flood the caves.
I think you got it.
Flood the caves.
I think you nailed it. No, don't flood the caves.
Flood them.
Snallygasters live down there.
Flood them. Build big fires. Burn them.
Oh, side tangent, real quick. We haven't done one in a while this episode because this episode's so heavy.
Yeah.
Listen to the confessionals. They did a re-release episode like he does with the reptilians in the cave. It's a great episode. You should everybody should check it out. I mean, we love Tony. Tony has an amazing show. That's obviously why he's one of the biggest podcasts in our field. But they talked about it goes into great detail how the underground society works with all the different types of creature that live down there. But the witches, what this little boy was describing, the witness is witches. They rode on big slimy dragons that could fly.
Snallygasters.
That's what I was thinking. The whole time I heard it is that I wonder if it's actually like they're using some of the creatures that are native down there.
Yeah. That is a side tangent and a wormhole, and I'm all on board for it.
I just thought it was neat that it just, I don't know.
Sometimes dots connect.
I know.
That's how we do it.
So, to move on, my next one, MUFON Vampire.
Okay.
The actual vampire that the guys from MUFON, the guys from SETI were seeing, stuff like that. I kind of skipped over it, but when the cows were dying, there was actually MUFON investigators in the area at the time that documented that as well. So there was a bunch of collaborating evidence.
An actual vampire?
Like an actual, whatever vampires are, like the human...
Right.
The human-like things.
Okay.
Like, let's say there's a population of actual vampires in Puerto Rico. They're not just people who practice Santa Maria. They're not animal attacks. They're actually people going out and drinking blood.
Right,
or these people like things.
Right, yeah.
What do you think of that?
I guess you can't rule anything out. I don't know how much I believe in vampires, but...
You believe in reptilians, but you don't believe in vampires. Come on.
Exactly. Yeah, I can't rule it out. It's a possibility. I'm going to Puerto Rico with a silver stake in my hand, though.
That's werewolves.
No, werewolves is silver bullet, I thought.
Yeah, vampires got to be wooden stake.
Wooden stake, so just a stake in general.
Like, you'd stab them in the heart, nothing would happen. You'd be like, what's happening?
Well, I think a silver stake would still do the job.
No, it had to be a wooden stake because you can stab them in the heart, but they'll regenerate.
Oh, so it has to be wood.
It's something with old witch tales, or old wives' tales. I can't remember.
It's got to be your bowl.
What?
It's from Tommy Boy.
Oh, I was like, what the hell are you talking about? No, second to last one I have for you tonight is an unknown animal of the jungle. And by this, I'm specifically saying an undocumented species that may be present in the rainforest there. Yeah. It's a great rainforest, super huge biodiversity. The amount of species that are endemic to this island are crazy. Out of the 300 families of trees on the planet, there's only 300 families of trees. Mm-hmm. 18 of them are only endemic to Puerto Rico.
That's pretty awesome.
So Puerto Rico not only has a bunch of protected species, they have a bunch of endemic species. That means they're only found on Puerto Rico.
Only there, yeah.
So let's say this is just a really recluse animal, like how the trilocene is in Australia.
Yeah.
It's just, it's a misunderstood animal. It's really recluse. And it kills chickens, but raccoons kill chickens, possums kill chickens, and coyotes kill chickens. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean they're evil.
Yeah.
They kill livestock, but everything kills livestock because it's easy prey.
Raccoons are evil.
Yes. The coon, yeah, we can get those guys up here. But anyways, could just be a medium-sized, and I say medium-sized because most reports say that it's 4 foot long when it's crawling, and it's only 3 foot tall when it's standing. Mm-hmm. That's not a big animal.
No.
It's a medium-sized monkey.
Right, yeah. Yeah. And you can't rule that out. You can't. It could be like I said earlier, I asked, where's the predator species, like the top apex predator.
Yeah, it may be a reptile. So there are some very active reptiles, and that could be the reptilian skin.
Yeah.
It could be some kind of land terrestrial bird, and we could be seeing so the alhul is a bird down there in Puerto Rico. Everybody's seen it, the lizard-faced owls. They got the gigantic black eyes, the big wide mouths.
Okay.
They have the raised feathers on the back of their head and stuff like that. They look freaky. You don't realize you're looking at a bird because their beak is so small, it almost looks like lips.
Yeah. Okay.
So what if it's a predatory bird that's crawling around like a ground-dwelling owl? Or, I don't know.
Something. Yeah, we don't know.
It's just, that option to me remains one of the biggest.
As a wide open one, yeah.
It's a undocumented animal.
Species, yeah.
Because the stuff the Puerto Rican Chupacabra did, specifically what we're calling the Chupacabra, not the other things we've talked about, but specifically the Puerto Rican Chupacabra, are not out of this world.
It has some.
It was freaky looking.
Yeah.
Sure, some of the stories said it had glowing eyes, but I don't know I don't ever know if that's somebody exaggerating a story. If somebody was so freaked out that we talked about that earlier with your brain.
Yeah.
Will do this stuff to your memories. It'll change them to help you exaggerate, not purposely exaggerate, but to exaggerate danger so you don't get in those situations again.
That fear, yeah.
Yeah. So what if that's an afterthought? Or what if that's because it's such a religious country that it's a demon, so it had glowing red eyes?
Right, yeah.
That afterthought. It could just be an unknown animal that occasionally kills chickens and looks freaky. Mm-hmm. But literally, a lot of animals on this planet look freaky.
Exactly, yeah. Could be a giant velvet worm.
A giant velvet worm. There we go.
You heard it here first.
Chupacabra is a giant velvet worm. I love it. All right, you ready for my final one?
Yes.
An invasive species. But specifically, so Puerto Rico has a big problem with invasive species. Mm-hmm. But there is one that really sticks out.
Oh, it's a sandhill crane.
No.
Oh, dang it.
I didn't even have him on this list at all. No. There's one species that very sticks out. When I was just looking at the species list that were found there, I read it. It would be the mongoose. A small Indian mongoose.
Okay.
Which can still get 26 to 27 inches long and like a pound. These creatures have 5 long toes with claws. Sexes do differ with size a little bit. Males having a wider head and bigger bodies. You can kind of distinguish them. They have There's a bunch of other cousins of this mongoose in India. This was brought over by 10 animals to control rats on one farm.
Okay.
And they quickly became a problem.
Oh, okay.
These are wiping out species by the dozen in Puerto Rico.
Not good.
They're mostly known as eating insects, small reptiles, and fish, but these guys are on the National Invasive Species Watch List, as they are famous for getting into an area and destroying populations of animals.
When did they come in?
Like 1870.
So it was early. The guy didn't know.
Yeah. Nobody knew nothing.
Yeah.
Literally, they had an Indian rat problem, so they brought an Indian mongoose.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, it made sense. I get it. You know,
just bring one.
Well, they brought 10. That's not a lot. You don't realize that they can have they breed 18 times a year.
It's like rabbits.
No, I have it. Let's see.
18 times a year.
No, they breed 8 times a year,
That's still a lot.
having up to 18 pups in some cases.
Dang. Oh yeah. So they can multiply fast.
Oh yeah. These guys in non-native habitats, they pretty much never mess with livestock. They're not known but muscelids, which is their family group, weasels, mongoose, those kind of animals, can kill prey much, much larger than themselves.
Yeah, they're mean.
They're famous for biting on the neck, the nose, and the back of the head. I lost a whole bunch of chickens that just had the back of their skulls bitten off by mongoose.
Like the peacocks.
Or not mongoose, by mink.
Minks are mean too.
So what they'll do is they are also known as access killers. They'll kill everything just for the hell of it. When they get into an area, they'll just kill it all, and they'll take what they want.
Is that like the guy that will use the minks and stuff to catch those rats? Like on, you ever seen?
Yeah.
They'll go into every little hole and chase these rats.
Yeah, they'll keep killing them.
Yeah.
They're hyper carnivores, so they just keep killing. So these guys, like I said, in India, don't really do that. They are famous for killing livestock outside of their natural range.
Gotcha.
Mostly focusing on birds and rabbits, but have been known to attack small goats and such. Okay. This is who the Chupacabra is, in my opinion. For the most likely candidate, and I think most of the things we just went over do play a part in the Chupacabra legend.
Story, yeah.
I think the most of the kills associated with the Chupacabra fall on the small Indian mongoose, a very big invasive species there in India that has, or not India, in Puerto Rico, that has had very little research done on its actual impacts on the environment in Puerto Rico.
I could see this as what's the best way to put it? Like a real world life biological explanation.
Yeah.
For something we know that exists and we know that is there.
And we know it's causing problems.
Exactly.
We know it, and it's a super invasive animal. They're very secretive too. A lot of times you won't see them. They'll come into a barn in where was it one? Like in some parts of Africa, and they'll clear out a barn. They'll kill everything in that barn, and you never knew what happened. They have brown, coarse fur.
Ooh, like that was caught in the... Yes. Okay.
But yeah, so that's just pretty much it. I think a lot of the other... So let me go back over all the explanations real quick.
Yeah.
Just the title. Santa Maria. Yes, some of them were. We have documentation saying, yes, there were people practicing Santa Maria that were spreading rumors of Chupacabra so they could kill other people's livestock unabated. The monkeys, the CPRC, the Caribbean Primate Research Center. Yes, they're a problem. Yes, monkeys got off there. We do know they were experimenting on monkeys. But what end is what we don't know.
Yes.
Aliens. I do believe there was a UFO crash. I believe it was 88 when we were talking about it. There's plenty of documentation, both by UFO and non-UFO entities, saying there was something hit the ground there. I do believe that. I personally don't think Chupacabras came pouring out of it. I think it was just something hit the ground really hard.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I can be on board with that.
Tasmanian tiger. The Tasmanian tiger being used as a government experiment onto Puerto Rico. Yeah, I don't think whatsoever.
Yeah, thumbs down for me.
Just basic government experiments, sir. Bat squatch.
Could be a small sliver.
I don't think it has anything to do with Chupacabra. I just think...
Bat squatch was seen there.
Yeah, there's a lot of bat squatch in Puerto Rico.
Yes.
Reptilians. A reptilian baby.
Yes, I think 100% could be part of it too. Some of it. Not all of it, but some of it.
Other cave critters.
Same thing. That's probably even more of a possibility than any of them.
MUFON vampire.
That one I just guess I don't understand as well, but yeah, could be.
And then unknown forest species.
Right. The same thing as almost the same vein as this cave creature.
And then the mongoose.
Which very well could be a big sliver of a lot of these.
I think most of your actual chupacabra killings can be put
under the mongoose
and the monkey.
And the monkey.
Because we have documented those monkeys ganging up on this 200 to 300 pound pig. 6 cats. Imagine 6 house cats trying to kill a 200 to 300 pound pig. But doing it.
Actually doing it, that's the thing. I was going to say, I'd like to kind of see it, but I would feel bad for the pig. I wouldn't want to actually see it. I would want to actually see it, but I'd feel bad watching it.
So do you think there's a Puerto Rican chupacabra out there? Do you think this little 3 foot tall, reptilian-looking, quilled back creature exists?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Because people had witnessed it. And I just think there's enough witnesses, I'd say, to say that part does exist. I would agree. I would say yes.
So let's take all the chupacabra attacks out, because I really don't think most of the chupacabra attacks have anything to do with the chupacabra.
So, and I see what you're saying. Yeah, could be the mongoose.
It could be any of them.
Anything
kills chickens.
Yes, anything. I was gonna say I'm only referring to the accounts where an actual creature was seen, not like the aftermath.
I think
that was attributed to
the chupacabra, as in how it stands. That creature is real.
Yes.
I think it is not an alien. It is either a cave creature or an undiscovered species that lives on an island.
Or a reptilian.
I personally don't think so. Not saying there's not reptilians there.
I do.
But I think it is either an undiscovered native species or it's a part of the cave ecosystem. Mm-hmm. It kind of has Dover Demon vibes a little bit.
I was going to say that too.
But, it fits that narrative, these giant eyes.
Yeah, that's the part that got me. And, just in the relative same size, it's just those didn't seem as aggressive or those didn't seem as deadly as these.
These don't seem very aggressive. Think of every time they seen a chupacabra.
Towards humans, they're not.
It was either running away from people or killing birds.
Yeah. Seems so innocent.
Seriously, it doesn't.
True, though.
Like, what was it doing when they seen the physical creature that made you think monster, besides its looks?
Yeah.
But there's
basically it.
Goblin sharks look horrifying, and they don't do anything to anybody.
Right, they're monsters.
But they're nothing.
They'll bite your cheeks off.
Yeah, sure.
They will.
Anyways.
Convinced.
I do think that this is either a native species or a cave creature. I think the caves in this planet have so much undocumented. I don't believe in the hollow earth as far as the earth is like empty. I do believe in the mantle. I believe in the core and stuff like that. Just because of the electromagnetic field, it makes sense. I do believe, though, there are these mass areas of pockets.
It's like Swiss cheese.
Yeah. The crust.
Yeah.
Which is still 11 miles thick.
I thought it was like 20.
I think it's 11. It may be 20. I don't know. I think it's 11.
It's thick, though.
Yeah. So you have 11 miles of just interweaving caves and volcanic tubes and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why would we think that the life that has shoved its way in great diversity in every other pocket of this planet, why it wouldn't take advantage of these things?
We already know it would.
But this island, Puerto Rico, has probably one of the most impressive close surface cave systems on the planet that we don't get to get into. I couldn't find one reason besides safety.
Right. Why not? Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
I couldn't really find a lot of reasons or how this cave system was formed either. It's
so call your local, representative, your local politician, see if we can get some, draft work written up, to get some cave experiment research done, and maybe they'll send Cryptids of the Corn down there to do the front and center research.
You will not get me in that cave.
Shoot, why not? You scared? You scared of caves?
I don't like caves.
I'll do it. You be my call guy on the outside.
You know why I don't like caves?
Tie the rope.
I love the biodiversity in caves. Me and Emily went into caves on our last trip down to Tennessee.
Yeah.
The Tuscaloosa caves or whatever. Seen salamanders. There's a lot of salamanders in that cave.
Ooh.
I don't like caves because if you get stuck in there, you got to think about how you're going to die for a long time.
Well, then send me in then.
That's why it really freaks me out, because if this thing falls. Right. But I'm going to sit in here for 2 to 3 weeks in the pitch black. And that freaks me out. I don't like pitch black.
Yeah.
It freaks me out. I get sitting here for 2 to 3 weeks and think about me starving to death.
That would be so bad.
That's probably the worst way to die.
Yeah, I guess buried. It's almost like being buried alive, but at least you can move.
That's worse. I think I could. I don't know. To me, because other things can move.
Yeah, that's right.
And you start hearing.
That means I can still I can still throw a punch.
Yeah, it doesn't matter when it's an 8-foot tall reptilian coming out of the darkness with glowing red eyes.
Well, if I can't see it, I'm still punching at it.
But yeah, so what's your final thoughts on the Puerto Rican Chupacabra?
Well, I definitely think you're onto something with the mongoose. Especially when people don't actually see it. And then that one case where they found the fur associated. But I do think it's like some of the accounts. I think they're doing experiments there a lot that we're not privy to. And there can be some human hybrid stuff going on that I'm just not a fan of or hope's not happening, but I think is happening. And could involve reptilian type creatures or things in that vein. I'm leaning towards something like that. And could also be an undisclosed cave creature we just don't know about. I could lean towards that too, because we just know there's so much down there that we don't know about or it's not documented. How can you say yes or no to any of that?
All right. I'm putting on that I 100% believe the Puerto Rican Chupacabra is real in its current state. I do not think it's responsible for about 98% of the attacks it's accused of.
Yeah.
I think it was in a time when a lot of livestock was dying in general, and livestock is very important to especially poorer communities. So it hit home really hard.
Yeah.
And now they had a freaky creature that was seen in the same area, so you could really you have your monster to attack.
Exactly. You got to put something to associate it with all the killings and all the deaths.
Once again, it's not the same thing as the U.S. Chupacabra.
Right. Different thing.
Same name, different thing.
Yep.
The U.S. one is the one that kills a lot of goats.
Yeah. The dog-like creature.
This episode's almost 2 hours long.
Dang, this is a good season opener.
Good season opener. Once again, guys, thank you for your support.
Yep.
We love each and every one of you. We greatly appreciate it.
Very grateful.
The amount of growth, the amount of popularity we have is...
Whoops. All thanks to you guys, for real.
It's unreal. It's really unreal.
Yeah, it is.
Did you ever think we'd be speakers at conferences?
Not in my lifetime.
Like, we'd be getting invited onto shows across the planet?
No. Not at all.
It's crazy. So thank you, guys. We're going to keep turning out the content for you. We hope you enjoyed the Season 3 opener. I hope you like how we did it. I know it probably wasn't what some people were expecting because we didn't really focus that heavily on the actual Chupacabra sightings. I did the 4 or 5 really famous ones. But a lot of them was like, yeah, I seen a green shadow run in the back of the barn.
Yeah.
And I had a bunch of dead chickens.
A little different, yeah. Not much to go on there.
Right. I think the explanations was the part that was really fun.
I had fun doing it.
All right. I've been the great and powerful Mr. E.
And I've been Season 3 J.
And we'll let the outro take care of the rest. Bye. Thank you for listening to Cryptids of the Corn podcast.
Please share with a friend you think would like us. It's the best way to help our show grow.
Leave a comment, rate us, a 5-star review, and remember, there is always extra content on Patreon/CryptidsOfTheCorn.com.
And don't forget, stay magical.
At Discount Tire, we know your time is valuable. Get 30% shorter average wait time when you buy and book online. Did you know Discount Tire now sells wiper blades? Check out our current deals at DiscountTire.com or stop in and talk to an associate today. Discount Tire.
Let's get you taken care of.